Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're turning this explainer into your ultimate masterclass study guide for the biological hierarchy of the human body. Whether you're prepping for a major biology exam or you're just genuinely fascinated by the mechanics of life, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to map out nature's most extraordinary achievement, you, starting from the absolute invisible building blocks all the way up to the complex, living, breathing whole.
All right, here's the quick rundown of our syllabus. First, we'll cover the chemical foundation, then move into cells, the fundamental units. From there, we look at tissues, cells working together, up to the 11 organ systems, and finally, a system in harmony. Basically, we're taking a bottom-up assembly approach today, starting incredibly microscopic and continuously zooming out until we see the fully integrated human organism. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The chemical foundation. Before we can even begin to talk about living things, we have to start at the absolute invisible foundation of life, the atoms and molecules.
You know what's truly wild about this? Just how simple our basic ingredients are. Think about it. Just 6 completely chemically inert elements, oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus, account for roughly 99% of your body's mass. That is literally the exact same stuff found in stardust. Now, by themselves, they don't do much. And sure, water makes up about 60% of your total body weight, acting as a thermal buffer and the universal solvent for your biochemical reactions. But it's the complex molecules built from those 6 basic elements that truly unlock our biological potential.
If you're taking notes for an upcoming exam, pay attention, because you absolutely need to remember these 4 biological macromolecules and their specific jobs. It's a brilliant illustration of how raw materials get assigned very specific biological duties. First, carbohydrates. These are your primary energy sources, like glucose, which your brain's neurons actually depend on exclusively. Then we have lipids. These form the structural basis of your cell membranes. They store long-term energy, and they act as signaling molecules. Next up are proteins. Think of these as the literal workhorses of biology. They are your enzymes, your defending antibodies, and structural scaffolds like collagen. And finally, nucleic acids. That's your DNA and RNA, carrying the vital genetic instructions for building, well, everything else.
So we've got water, and we have these 4 completely non-living macromolecules. The big million-dollar biological question is, how exactly do these inert molecules cross the threshold to become a living, breathing being?
Well, to answer that, we go to Section 2, cells, the fundamental units. And what's really fascinating about this next level is that every single living function in your entire body traces directly back to right here. All right, here is your definitive, must-know exam definition. The cell is the fundamental unit of life. It's not just a static brick in a wall, it is a completely self-contained biological machine. We're talking about a unit capable of producing its own energy, processing information, managing its own waste, and reproducing. It is the absolute baseline of biology.
And your body? It's made up of a staggering 37 trillion of them. 37 trillion. It's almost impossible to even wrap your head around a number that big. And they definitely aren't all the same either. Those 37 trillion cells are divided into over 200 distinct specialized types. You've got neurons with these long, crazy branching projections, red blood cells that actually lack nuclei entirely, and muscle cells absolutely packed with specialized contractile proteins. But here's the kicker. Despite all that massive variety, they all share the exact same underlying genetic code.
Now, even though there are 37 trillion of them, each individual cell is exquisitely organized internally. Think of it like different departments in a hyper-efficient microscopic factory. The cell membrane, that's your security boundary, regulating what enters and exits. Inside, the cytoplasm is the gel-like medium holding the whole operation together, while the nucleus acts as the main command center directing gene expression. Then you have your mitochondria. Yep, the powerhouses, converting nutrients into ATP, which is basically your molecular currency of energy. Meanwhile, the ER and Golgi apparatus team up like a shipping department, synthesizing and dispatching proteins. And finally, lysosomes act as the microscopic waste disposal team, breaking down damaged components. So, a single cell is a total marvel all on its own. But we aren't single-celled organisms, right? So what happens when 37 trillion specialized, distinct cells need to stop acting as individuals and start cooperating to build a larger structure?
That takes us to Section 3, tissues, cells working together. This is the next structural level up, where cells of a similar type and function actually organize together.
Okay, students, listen up, because the crucial takeaway for your exam is mastering these 4 primary tissue types. You've got to know them backward and forward.
First, epithelial tissue. This lines your surfaces, like your skin, your digestive tract, and respiratory passages, acting as a protective interface and handling secretion and absorption. Second is connective tissue. This is the most diverse category by far. It binds, supports, and cushions. We're talking fibrous tissue, cartilage, bone, adipose tissue, and, get this, even your blood is considered a fluid connective tissue. Crazy, right? Third up is muscle tissue, responsible for movement. This includes your voluntary skeletal muscles, the autonomous cardiac muscle of your heart, and the involuntary smooth muscle lining your organs. And fourth, nervous tissue. This is made of neurons that transmit rapid electrical signals to form the communication network across your brain, spinal cord, and peripheral nerves.
All right, so we've leveled up from atoms to molecules to cells and now to these 4 primary tissues. But how do these flat sheets and clusters of tissues combine to build complex, functional macroscopic machines?
Here's the answer in Section 4, the 11 organ systems. Just like cells build tissues, tissues build organs. Take the heart, for example. It is primarily made of cardiac muscle tissue, sure, but it's lined with epithelial tissue, supported by connective tissue, and innervated by nervous tissue. It requires all 4 to function. And then, these individual organs group into massive functional networks known as organ systems.
There are 11 major organ systems in the human body, and you will need to be able to summarize the role of each. Let's rapid fire through the first 6. Ready? The skeletal system, 206 bones giving you rigid structure and protection. The muscular system, over 600 muscles pulling the weight for movement and posture. Your nervous system, the brain and nerves coordinating all perception, thought, and response. The cardiovascular system, using the heart and a staggering 100,000 kilometers of blood vessels to circulate blood. Your respiratory system, facilitating that essential gas exchange in the lungs. And the digestive system, working tirelessly to break down your food and absorb vital nutrients.
Keep that energy up. Let's complete our 11 systems. The endocrine system, utilizing glands to secrete hormones that regulate metabolism and growth. The immune system, your own internal defense force against foreign pathogens. Your urinary system, filtering your blood and getting rid of waste. The reproductive system, enabling the continuation of our species. And finally, the integumentary system, that's your skin, hair, and nails, acting as the ultimate sensory interface and your body's frontline armor against the outside world. Boom, 11 systems.
Which brings us to Section 5, a system in harmony. For this final section, we're taking a massive step all the way back. We've looked at the microscopic components and the macroscopic networks, and now we need to view the whole breathtaking picture of human physiology.
Let's summarize our bottom-up assembly journey one last time, because this is the exact hierarchy you need to cement in your mind. Atoms assemble into molecules. Molecules, specifically those 4 macromolecules, form cells. Cells cooperate to act as tissues. Those 4 primary tissue types build discrete organs. Organs unite to create the 11 organ systems, and those systems seamlessly interact to sustain you, the whole organism. What is truly remarkable isn't just the complexity of these parts, but how perfectly integrated they all are. I want to leave you with this thought as we conclude our study guide today. This entire hierarchy we just mapped out, it is maintained by constant, relentless molecular activity. We are talking about billions of chemical reactions happening every single second inside of you, right now, completely without your conscious awareness. From your very first breath to your final heartbeat, your body is an absolute testament to the elegance of biological design. But here's a thought to really chew on. If your cells are constantly dying and being replaced by new ones, are you even biologically the same person you were a few years ago? Something to think about. Keep studying, keep asking those big questions, and I'll see you in the next explainer.